Go ahead.
Hey, David, Brendan Vogt, DNVR. What an introduction to you to the playoffs there as a head coach, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge advantage in points off turnovers for you guys. I think you were plus 20 in that category.
Yep.
What did you think of the execution and transition, particularly on the defensive side?
Oh, we just flew around. Those two guys caused so many issues. I thought we adjusted too much early instead of just doing what we do hard. And I thought their intensity was better than ours early in the game. And the end of the second quarter was the reason why we won the game. We don't have that run. I think it was 13-2 to get it to 4. And it felt like one of those games where you're just kind of slowly crawling uphill. Then it was 3 at the end of the fourth. Seemed like we were going to win the game. Tied. It just felt like it was incremental steps to win a basketball game. So it wasn't pretty on either end, or I'm sorry, for either team, but you just got to make enough plays to win. And I told the guys in there, I'm just going to play the guys I feel like are impacting the game the most. The stat sheet really doesn't mean anything to me. But they did a good job with their adjustments. We're going to have to watch the tape and do a better job of attacking it. But that's what this is, And it was funny. I thought our best adjustment of the night was, let's go back to doing what we thought we were going to do. Let's just do it better. And we did.
Russ had that really rough week a couple weeks ago, and you said after the Kings game, you said, I'm not playing him or playing Jalen.
Yeah.
I'm playing whoever's going to win. What did you see from him late in this game for him to be able to be that kind of impact player that you're looking for?
Yeah, Russ is Russ. Defensively, he was absolutely incredible. He was playing free safety out there. I thought a lot of the reasons why the turnovers happened, even if it wasn't him forcing it, just the way he was roaming around and impacting the game, was great for us. And then offensively, a couple of times I thought he attacked. Maybe we could have pulled it out and executed, but that's what Russ does. He's going to play in attack mode. So I don't think he's going to change after 17 years. If he sees somebody in front of him one-on-one, he's going to attack. And then he made an enormous 3, in the fourth. CB's 3. Aaron hit a big one, and that's what we're talking about right now. We have to be able to make shots when they triple, quadruple Jamal and Nikola. That's just the bottom line. And you can come up with all the schemes you want, change the offense and all this stuff. They're going to bring bodies. So people have to cut and finish, or they got to catch and shoot and make shots for us to do something special.
When you look at Jamal's first half and his second half, forget the shot making or whatever, what the field goal percentage was, but there was a noticeable uptick in his aggression.
Yeah.
Was there anything said, or was it just kind of Jamal just kind of being Jamal, and how does that encapsulate how you guys are as a team?
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's almost like the worse things got, the better he got. And that seems like that's always who he is. And I also thought Jamal, he's 7 for 20, 3 for 7, but the ones he made were so huge and so big. I know one got us back to, we were down 7, took us back down 4, made one to tie it finally. And the side pick and roll was really good to us tonight, allowed us to attack in different ways, flash people behind the defense, and Jamal got loose a little bit that way. So, and then obviously Nikola every night, man. It's 29, 12, and 9 in that game, that physical of the game, just incredible.
On the other end of the Russ thing, Malone always said that Michael Porter took pride in closing and being able to close.
Yeah.
Rest of this series going forward, what can he do to kind of get going? What can you guys do to kind of get him going?
Well, I think obviously, everybody has to engage the game. And I think everybody takes pride in finishing games on our team. And if Jalen Pickett has a night, he's going to finish the game. That's just it. That's the bottom line. It's the guys that are playing the best at that time are going to finish. And I thought the runs that were made, I was going to go back to Mike at the end of the second, and we made a run. And it's like you can't stunt runs when things are happening. And then I felt bad for Mike because he sat so long. There was a couple situations late game. Do you throw him back in? Is that fair? Is that fair to somebody and the ball finds them and they've been sitting for not game time but real lifetime 40 minutes? So there's two ways to look at that. You can say, well, I chose not to play Michael, or you can say, should I put Michael in a really unfair situation? Should I do that to him? I don't think so. And so I think the 5 guys that finished did their job, and we won this game defensively. We really did. And with timely shots from guys that aren't named Jamal and Nikola.
Coach, Nikola was involved in 2 plays that were pretty strange. I think one where he got hit in the face and then
Yeah.
it's on the ground. They started the 5-second clock and he kind of threw it in, ended up getting a technical.
Yeah.
And then the other where the Clippers bench is holding onto the ball.
Yeah.
What did you make of those plays and sort of how he handled them and how the refs controlled the game there?
Right, we watched it. He got hit. It wasn't intentional. Derek just caught him. And I think he thought there would be a call after the play, and there was no call. As far as the coaching thing, I mean, my guy's got to step it up. If we're allowed to just grab the ball and stop plays from happening, and it's not a delay of game, then what have we been doing all year? The assistants, I was an assistant, so what was I doing all year? So if that is okay to do, and I guess that's okay, then we should start doing it. I've never seen that before, to be honest. But again, if they don't call it, they don't call it, and it didn't have any impact on the game. So it is what it is. I'm sure the league will look at it.
Did you know Jeff Van Gundy had that in him or?
Yeah, he's pretty competitive guy, obviously, and an amazing coach. So, that's what this series is going to be. There's so many winning people in this series, and basketball pedigree, NBA history. You got a championship coach down there, and I said this, and I'm not trying to overdo this. I mean, James and Kawhi are so special. So, this series has it all. Like, if I was a fan, I'm watching this series. It's physical. There's playmaking. There's role players making big shots. Schematically, I thought the game was awesome as far as the adjustments that were made on both sides. So excited for Monday.
David, you guys were trailing most of the game, and I know you said that it was that run at the end of the second quarter that allowed you to win. But the fact that you don't lead again till late, you grind it out in overtime. What does it say about what this team has, what this team is capable to close out a game like that?
Yeah, I'll say it again. It's just stay connected in tough times. I mean, it really is. That's what it is. In the playoffs, the timeouts are so long. There's so much conversation that, it can kind of go sideways when things aren't going well. You got 3.5 minutes to talk to each other in a really intense moment. And I thought the guys did a good job of pushing each other the right way. And we have to do that throughout this series. This is going to be extremely tough. We know that. And I thought I saw that the last 3 games, which were playoff games, to get into this thing. And that's the key, man. Go out and play and all that stuff, but stay together and cheer for the guy that's out there if you're not out there. Help that guy, talk to him. So that's what it takes. And if that's what it takes to win 4 times, let's do it. Let's stay together.
So, David, in the back on your right.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. You just kind of touched on stay in there, cheer the guy on, whatever. So when you have players that aren't as engaged because the night's not going their way, in this case it happened to be Mike, and you're focused on what's going on the court, how do you get a guy back in that's maybe hanging out at the end of the bench and not that engaged with what's going on? And in this case, I'm saying, but in general, to keep a guy that isn't having their best night in the huddle and around
Right.
him.
I'll be honest. I'm coaching the game. So guys have to stay engaged themselves. These are grown men trying to win a basketball game on a team. So the guys on the bench can talk to them. Our assistant coaches can talk to them. When I had a chance, I talked to Mike, and I was trying to be communicative about what my thoughts were, how I thought he could get back in the game. And like I said, sometimes runs happen, and you go, I just don't know if we can take somebody out right now with the way the team is playing. And I'm going to say it again, like I've said last week. If Mike comes out and he plays and he's engaged defensively, he's knocking down shots, Michael will be out there, just like everybody else in that locker room. I'm going to keep saying it. I mean it. We're going to do anything we have to do to win a basketball game.
Last one, Katie.
How big was Aaron for you on both sides?
Incredible. Some of the offensive rebounds, second possessions, the play where he went to the basket and dunked it. We were having a hard time scoring, a late clock. Defensively, walling up at the rim, guarding Zubats, guarding Kawhi, switching on to James and double drags. Absolutely incredible. Such a good basketball player, winning basketball player. So happy for Aaron.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Jamal, I know you're not wanting to get too high or too low over the course of the game, success or failure, but just how did it feel to kind of get going there in the later portions of that game, and those few threes you hit felt like they were momentum changers?
I'm glad they were. I just feel like I could play a lot better, throughout the game. Still trying to just got to settle down and make some shots, but it felt good to get it up.
Jamal, how valuable has the years of experience playing alongside Nikola, Aaron, CB been in moments like that where the game is tight that you guys can lean on the years that you have played together?
Yeah, I think it's a lot. You know, it stems from that trust stems deep. You know, just from playing together, playing in so many big games, and you know, I just think we have a lot of trust in each other. So that was part of the reason why I feel like we got the job done today. And even then, I think we can be a lot better for next game.
Jamal, you knew you were going to see a whole bunch of extra bodies, a whole bunch of extra attention. They started doubling off of Russ kind of in that fourth quarter. Just how big was that shot by him, and just understanding that the ball is eventually going to find him in a lot of those situations.
Yeah, I don't think it was just a three though. He makes a lot of winning plays, stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. You know, so I don't just watch the shots that he makes. No, he was 5 for 17. It doesn't matter to me. He's playing hard. He's playing defense. He's talking. He's in the huddle. He's active. He's anticipating passes. He's doing everything else. And so, you know, a lot of stuff doesn't show on the stat sheet, and you just look at, you know, the shots that he makes or misses. But I feel like he impacts the game in plenty of ways, and he did that again tonight.
Was there an uptick in just your aggression in the third quarter, and just in the second half in general? You know, what were you seeing in terms of the coverages, and how were you able to kind of counteract them a little bit?
I didn't really do anything. I just tried to play solid throughout the game. I didn't make, you know, I had some good looks that I didn't make, but I didn't do anything special, in my opinion.
Jamal, obviously Mike didn't play a lot late, and DA just talked about you got to coach the game. You can't worry about guys that aren't necessarily engaged. But do you, as one of the leaders on the team, make sure guys that aren't necessarily in the game in crunch time are still staying engaged, or can you? I mean, is that a conversation you have? I'm not just picking up Mike. I'm saying in general, if the guy's not as engaged as you'd like.
Sure. I mean, if I'm on the court though, I'm not going to the bench and telling whoever he's got to stay locked in. I feel like that's a question for DA or something. I'm just trying to win the basketball game, and whoever's playing the best, trying to give us a chance out there. Some nights not going to be your night, as you just explained. So I don't look into it too much. I felt like whoever was out there was playing good at the time. So.
Jamal, you guys crushed them in points off turnovers. I think you were plus 20 in that category. Did it feel like it was a better effort in transition defense for you guys, more communication?
Yeah, I think it's also personnel though. They're really good in the half court. Obviously, we got some young guys that, you know, are pretty quick in the fast break. So I think it was more a personnel thing. You know, I think just kind of making those one-on-one situations in the, you know, off a turnover, off a rebound, or whatever. That's all I got for you.
Jamal, felt like early they had a big advantage on the offensive glass and second chance points, but late Russ and AG were creating extra possessions for you guys. Just how valuable was their work on that end?
Try to tell you, super valuable. It doesn't always come down to making shots, you know. I know that's how we critique everybody nowadays, but a lot of guys on this team make a lot of winning plays. So I'm just thankful to have them on the team, and guys that play that hard and are that selfless for the guy next to them. So I think that was a big reason, again, why we won tonight. Yeah.
Jamal, there's a lot of open layups and then just open opportunities for them in the first quarter. Just could you sense the defense kind of improving as the game went on, as the effort continued to get better? And just what were some ways that you thought that you guys improved on that?
I just thought as the game got more competitive, both teams just, you know, it was becomes more of a fun matchup. You know, both teams are fouling each other, not gonna call everything, and just a fun game, you know. So just glad we came up on the dub. We did what we had to do, and now we got to go more with the game too. That same kind of mentality. You know, I don't think we played our best today, and as a unit, I think we can be a lot better for game 2. You know, that we kind of saw I got a feel for, you know, everything that's going to go on in the game and the energy and all that. So yeah, on to game 2.
Jamal, there were multiple times that you, CV, Nikola were diving for loose balls. It doesn't show up in the box score, but how valuable is it when all 5 guys are willing to put their body on the line?
Yeah, like I said, it's part of winning. You know, you get guys that just play hard, you know, win a lot of games, even if, and that's been happening. That's just the basketball gods. You know, that has happened my whole life. You got guys that play hard, or you play hard, and you know, the ball might find you, or you know, you might go get the ball or whatever and create an extra position, hit a big 3 like we did. So like I said, you know, a lot of the box score doesn't really matter to me. And then playoffs, it's all who wins the possession, who gets the rebound, who gives a chance their team an opportunity to score again. Who's defending hardest, who's talking the most on defense. Everything that's not on this thing is what contributes to winning. So we got to look for game 2 and just kind of bring that physicality, bring that intent, and bring that pace that we normally do, that we had in the regular season, and we'll win game 2.
Take the last one here.
Another thing that's not on the box score, David Adelman talked about the connectivity and accountability. Feels like it's in a good place right now. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I just feel like, we're just talking through mistakes more, or planning for whatever to happen, just among us more. And we had that before, but it was more side conversations or whatever to try to figure out what we're doing. But I feel like right now, everybody forces us to be talking more and figuring it out on the court. So there's a good connectivity right now. I just feel like we didn't play our best today, and we got to be ready for game 2 because they're going to come out aggressive, come out swinging, and come on, they got nothing to lose. So I feel like it's really important for us to defend home court.
Thanks, Jamal. Thanks, Jamal.
We're studying native language tonight. Nikola, čestite na pobjedi, 29 tvojih poena, 9 skokova, 12 asistencija, fenomenalna utakmica, ali onako malo što rekli Amerikanci nerve-wracking, do posljednjeg momenta je bilo onako neizvjesno. Kako je tebi sve izgledalo?
Jeste, I'm sorry. Jeste, bila su ona neizvjesna prava play-off utakmica gdje u jednom momentu nismo ni mi oni mogli da damo koš, s puno kontaka, mnogo fizikalna, ali eto, našli smo način da u produžecima, mislim da smo mogli da završimo i u regularnom delu, ali eto, napravili smo greške, promašio sam bacanje, tako da nismo završili.
Da tu može nešto ako vi znate da će oni tebe da čuvaju, s druge strane da je vam potrebna jača odbrana, jači napad.
Pa da, sigurno to se dešava, sigurno da to se dešava, to su te neke promjene u tokom igre i tokom utakmice, sljedeće utakmice sigurno će biti totalno drugačije, tako da spremimo se za bilo što oni mogu da kako da kažem, da urade, ali na kraju utakmice je totalno drugačije i intenzitet i stres i nervoza i greške, tako da je totalno drugačije.
Nikola, how much does Jamal mean to you guys when he's aggressive and getting 2 feet in the paint, and not just the shot making? I mean, he can miss shots, but just the aggression and kind of creating a basketball advantage for you guys.
Yes. I mean, I always think if you're in the middle of the paint, you're the king of the court. So it's probably the best thing to be on the floor. The basket is so close, and you can facilitate, pass the ball to the other guy, and it's basically going to be the practice shot, because whenever coach passing you from below the rim.
There were multiple plays tonight where you, CB, AG, Jamal are diving for loose balls. It doesn't show up in the box score, but how valuable are those moments?
Yes, I mean, I think we had a lot of those. I think CB had a big one. I think Russ had a big one. He missed a 3, and then he stole the ball, and then AG had I think he had a lot of offensive rebounds. He had 5 offensive rebounds in a big time, in a crucial time. So I think we had those. Kind of small plays that, like you said, it doesn't show in a box score.
What aspects of Aaron Gordon's game fly under the radar?
I mean, I think I don't want to say aspect, but the sacrifice what he's doing. Like he's guarding the best player in their team. Probably he's switching it, and then he's fighting with. Sometimes he's guarding a 5, so he basically guard 1 through 5, and sacrifice that he's putting in, and he's not making a big scene of it. He's just doing his job.
Joker, it happened again. What was your reaction when a member of the other organization tries to wrestle the ball away from you when you're trying to inbound it?
I don't know. Yeah, it's a part. Seems like it's part of basketball nowadays, because I think definitely it's not supposed to happen, because I think the NBA wants to make a quick speed game, inbound the ball quicker, because that was emphasize when they came to before the season. They say sometimes when to take my shoes and this and then, like, and steal a couple of seconds, and they said, I cannot do that anymore, but it seems like they can do it.
He was strong.
Yeah, he's like, well, I think it's just 2 against 1. So.
Joker, what did you make of Russell Westbrook tonight? Just offensive rebounding, defensively. You obviously trusted him with that pass over to the three at the end of the game.
I mean, for us, open man wins, and I think with Jamal we missed a lot of easy layups. But he made a big three. He was really good in transition for us. He was aggressive. He had a couple offensive rebounds too. I think the big one. So he had a big steal on the end. So that's who he is.
Kind of piggybacking off of that one, just how big is it for his confidence just going into the rest of the series?
His confidence.
Yeah.
I think he has the biggest confidence probably in this matchup, whatever it is.
One more on Russ. He said he knew the Clippers' final play when they inbounded it and he tipped it off Harden. How much do you just appreciate another guy who can kind of diagnose an opponent's play like that?
Yeah, I mean, he was there and he knows. He knows. Then he played with James for a lot of years. So, he did it. I think he was doing it for a long period of time. Period.
Nikola, Clippersi su jako dobro otvorili utakmicu. Jako su dobro otvorili utakmicu i u prvih 18 minuta su je baš kontrolisali, pravili puno problema u reketu, ali posle toga sam imao utisak da ste vi potpuno preuzeli kontrolu nad utakmicom. Šta se tu desilo?
Jeste, ovo stvarno su počeli su mnogo, pomjerali su ih sa naših kretnji, pomjerali su nas sa naših putanja, gurali su nas, bili su mnogo fizikalni od nas i u nekom momentu smo mi to mečovali i mislim da smo u jednom momentu bili mnogo agresivniji, iste smo vratili se za utakmicu, imali 4 poena na poluvremenu, tako da smo nekako kad oni su zadali prvi udarac, a mi smo kao da smo nešto čekali, ali kad smo se probudili, pokazali smo sami sebi kako treba da igramo.
Luka next.
Nikola, obviously Mike didn't finish the game tonight. Only took 4 shots. What can you guys do to get him going? Do you want to see him be a little bit more aggressive, the rest of the series?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think teams are preparing for him. It's really hard when someone is preparing for you, but we definitely can find him a couple more looks or this and that. But I think if that happens, you need to sacrifice. I think that the goal is to win a game. It's not about the minutes and about the shots. I think, and you need to support your team. Probably next game can be a completely different game, and the completely different players can play.
Joey, go ahead.
Kawhi's 7 turnovers were pretty uncharacteristic for him. He's usually the guy who takes care of the basketball. What do you think you guys were able to do well defensively against him to make that the case?
I mean, first primary defenders with AG, CB, whoever was on him, and I think the shrink was there behind it, and we were there showing the crowd, showing the hands, and it just happened. Lucky for us.
Yeah, another question about Kawhi. This is your guys' first time seeing this Clippers team with him. How does he change what they do, and what was your initial evaluation of them?
I mean, he's an amazing player. Of course, he's a really deadly scorer, and he can. It's really hard to stop him one-on-one, and even if you think that you can stop him, he can make tough shots. So definitely giving him another, and you cannot help of him. So he's an amazing player.
Nikola, I know it's hard in game, and Jamal's talking about playing, DA's talking about coaching. When you have a guy that's not engaged, so tonight Mike wasn't necessarily that engaged, do you go out of your way in between games just to remind, whether it's him or anyone else, to stay engaged? Do you have those conversations?
I mean, if you're not going to be engaged right now, I think you're not supposed to play this sport. So. It's like I said, it's just another game. It just happen. It can happen. So tomorrow is not tomorrow. In 2 days, it's going to be a completely different game.
With the defense, you guys were kind of able to settle in throughout the game after struggling with their pick and roll in particular in the first quarter. What do you think you guys can do better just against that in terms of setting the tone with your defense throughout the series?
I mean, I think they scored 110 points. They had 98 overall. end of the regulation. So I think we did a good job. So I think sometimes it seems like they score too easy. So I think the effort, not the effort, like the physicality, like don't let them make easy passes, don't let them make quick, easy looks, reads. So I think we just need to have a little more aggression and make them do a little bit something else.
We'll finish with Alexander in the front. Čini se trenutku si uzeo kao tabletu da se pravi neki plan igre, šta si govori igračima i sad kako se ne opustiti posle ove pobjede sada, udržati taj ritam i taj...
Pa mislim da se utakmica možda na neki način i probudila, da smo, kao što sam rekao, nekako su oni nas napali i nekako, mislim to ne smije da se dozvoli zato što su jako talentovana ekipa, da imaju 14 igrača koji mogu da budu bilo koje ekipe, bilo koje rotaciji. Ne smemo dopustiti da oni nas napadnu prvi, moramo da mi zadamo prvi udarac i zato ne smije da dođe do opuštanja.
Thank you, Nikola.